Hi, I'm Adam McFarland here on the Suno music team, and welcome back to our channel. Hopefully by now you've had a chance to dig into some of our past videos and you know how to better do things like generate songs layer by layer, how to generate individual vocals or instruments directly into Suno Studio, or even how to upload your own audio into Suno Studio. In this video, we're going to focus on how to edit and mix inside of Suno Studio. I'm going to cover stem separation, adding effects, removing effects, and so much more. Let's get into it. First, I want to just show you the original track.
Steam rising, dark and bitter. Morning can't start till the caffeine hits.
Already hearing a couple of things that I think we could change to make this a little bit stronger, but strong start.
Steam rising, dark and bitter.
The first step in this process was stem separation, which is the process by which you split your audio into all of its component parts, different instruments, different vocals, all the things that make your song your song. You can do stem separation other places inside of Suno, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to do it right here inside of Studio. Here's how. First, you're going to select your track and then right click that track and scroll down to Get Stems. You could then choose the advanced split option and type in the specific stems that you want to extract. I'm going to select synth, bass, drums. Let's get some vocals, and then we're going to extract. This may take a little while, but trust me, it's worth it. When the stems are generated, I can audition the different versions and then choose my favorite version, or I can regenerate to extract them again. I now have an option to either download those stems in the form of an MP3, a WAV file, or even MIDI files. But in this particular case, because I would like to do some more with them inside of Suno Studio, I'm just going to insert them all into Suno. Let's take a listen to some of these stems to see how they turned out. First, our drums. I actually really like that. That muted kick sounds pretty dope.
Morning can't start till the caffeine hits. Sit a while, no bother.
If you combine all the stems together, here's our full song. As you can see, by separating the stems, I can actually create a more precise mix. Not only can I change the volumes, but I can also repeat sections, I can cover instruments, or even make new generations. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, we've actually jumped forward a little bit. You'll notice that in this new version, we've added in some vocal generations, we've added in some new instruments, and even played around with the arrangement a little bit so that this song feels a bit more complete. I want you to take a listen to this song because you can hear some of those changes that we've made before we talk about how we made them.
Cup still hot, world can follow. Reckon I'll just stay here by the window, waiting for the skyfall.
Now that we've heard the full song, let's take a deep dive into how we were able to get to this version of the song. First thing I hear is, I think on my lead vocal, I'd like to add a little bit of compression and EQ. So here's the dry version without anything.
Steam rising, dark and bitter.
Now I'm going to add in a compression effect, and also let's play with the EQ. You can actually make changes in real time and hear how it sounds.
Steam rising, dark and bitter. Morning can't start till the caffeine.
Take off some bottom and I'll go there.
Sit a while, no bother. Cup still hot.
All right, I think I like how that sounds. Was able to alter my compressor, increasing my threshold, and also I took some of the bottom end off of the EQ, adding a little bit on the top shelf. Let's hear how it sounds inside of the mix.
Steam rising, dark and bitter. Morning can't start till the caffeine hits.
I really like how that sits on top of the mix, kind of calling a little bit more attention to the vocal. Let's also take a listen to this whirly, and I can actually loop so that I'm only listening to this portion of the whirly. In this case, I think I'm going to add a little bit of reverb. Let's hear how it sounds currently. Let's add a little bit of reverb and let's see how this sounds with the stock reverb. And like I said before, you can actually make changes in real time and hear how it's going to sound. Ooh, I like cut. think it sounds very ethereal, kind of like otherworldly, which plays really well with the rest of this mix. So let's hear how it sounds in the mix. Okay, so that's how you add effects in Suno, but sometimes you want to do the opposite and you want to remove the effects that get generated with your audio. Here's how you do that. I have soloed currently the guitar line. And when I listen to this guitar line, I think I hear a little bit of compressor, maybe even a little bit of reverb. And let's say, for example, I don't like how this sounds. Take a listen. Fortunately for me, within Suno Studio, I can actually remove effects, even the effects that were a part of the original generation. I simply select the track, right click, and scroll down to remove effects. Suno is then going to give me 2 track lanes that are filled with a version of this guitar that has the effects removed. Now we can see in lane 3 and lane 4, 2 versions of this guitar that are now labeled dry. Let's hear how they sound. That one sounds pretty good dry. Let's take a listen to the second option. I'm pretty pleased with how both of those turned out. So I'm going to select the first one. If I would like to input either of these take lanes, I can select the arrow here at the top. Let's hear it inside of the mix. Love it. Okay, so I was able to remove the effect and make this super dry. But if I wanted to add more reverb in, or if I wanted to alter any additional effects, I could simply do that by adding a track effect. Let's hear this with a little bit of reverb that I've added down. Brand new to Studio 2.0 are 2 pretty similar features, automation and clip fades. To apply a clip fade, grab the fade icon and drag it from one end of the clip, or select a section of the clip that you'd like to fade and then use the keystroke Control F. Take a listen. Automation can be applied to almost any parameter over the entire duration of the track, not per clip. If I want to automate any parameter within my effects, I simply right click on the knob that I'm looking to automate, click the word automate, and then I'm able to make individual markers with which I can make very particular changes to how this reverb shows up within my guitar line. And just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to make some pretty dramatic changes in the reverb here. Let's hear what we got. All right, that concludes this video on editing and mixing in Suno Studio 2.0. Thank you guys so much for joining in. We want to make sure that everyone gets super educated on how to use this incredible tool. So please, go check out some of our other videos. Hop in the comments. Let us know what you want to see next. Thank you so much. I'm Adam, and this concludes our video. See you on the next one.